show where air takes the floor. Lee and Rich on the mic.
Welcome to Tech Time with Thomas. I'm Thomas, your host and head of product at Rhea, and I'm joined once again by Lee, our director of sales and operations. Welcome back.
Ready to get into it, man. Let's see what we did.
All right. So where we left off last time was we had our Google Sheets with our leads on it, and we needed to reach out to them, letting them know about service for their vehicles. We wanted AI to reach out, and we had it programmatically grab the lead, generate an AI message and subject for the email, write that to our sheet, and then send out the messaging and update our sheet. So let me share my screen
right.
and I'll show you where we left off. So here's our sheet. Here's the first row. This was the test one I filled in with my email address, and it ended up updating the appointment status, the subject, and the AI first message. So since then, I had a conversation with the agent, and I now want to do a few things. I want to grab the score and the summary from that conversation. I want to provide a link to it within our Copilot application so you can review that conversation. And then I also want to, based on our reps tab, grab whichever rep is supposed to be getting the next lead. I have a round robin system, so everybody gets leads evenly. I want to send them a message with all of the information about it, but I'm going to make it a one-time message. I'm going to do something with our API where I switch a conversation to manual mode so that it won't reply back to the agent. Some of our customers will do that where they'll set us up a custom domain with a do not reply at, but that doesn't stop people from replying. So this is a way to have it to where they could reply, but the agent won't reply back. But the nice thing is, if they do, you'll still see that in Copilot. So you could go back and find those conversations and see if there's anything actionable about them. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is hop back into our workflow. So with the conversation, I set up a skill I'll show in the agent called the webhook skill. And what that means is you can set it so that whenever a conversation starts or ends, or after each message from the person, we hit that webhook with all of the information up to that point, score, summary, so on. So I set one up and I set it up to our webhook here. And since the scoring and summary happens automatically roughly 6-7 minutes after a conversation, the last message from the user, that's our kind of a soft stop for when a conversation is over. Then we hit that webhook automatically. So I went ahead and pinned the message for the webhook in our workflow so we have that to work with. So our next step here would be to go into the agent, head to the skills, and head down to webhooks. Again, because I didn't want to sit and wait 10 minutes on a call for the process to run, I set this up ahead of time. You'll see I just wrote outbound sales catches conversations from the outbound sales list. This is that webhook node that I set up in N8N. And then I set it to trigger when the dialogue ends. But again, there's quite a few options here. So after each message, dialogue ends, dialogue starts, trigger when a live chat's currently unavailable. There's a lot of different customization for it. All right, so let's hop back to our workflow here. Okay, so the next thing we're going to need is to do one of my favorite things, which is a simple little set API key node. It's just so that downstream, I believe I'm hitting our API multiple times. I'm sending the agent, I'm changing the message type and status, and if there's other things down the stream, it's easiest just to have it in one place. All right, next up, we're going to update a lead. Okay, so if I open up my webhook body that was sent to me, I can see past the headers here, I have the agent information, the user information, everything about him here, the initial email, subject, and message. I can see the conversation ID, the title, the full conversation array of messages, recent messages, and I can even go into your score and your summary down below, and then custom conversation metadata, which could be feedback if it was going through your live chat skill, or ratings, things like that. Or if there's a signed user at the time. Okay, so I have all of that information. I've gone ahead and generated my API key by just setting agent API key. Next, I want to update the lead. So I'll go back into my same sheet from my leads list, and I'm going to match on the lead email. That's a value I'm able to pull from that webhook. So I can see I have my lead email to match on. So we'll go right back to this top row, matching on the lead email. And I'm going to populate the score, the summary, and I'm going to build out an AI Copilot link. So within our Copilot, whenever you log in, you can click right over to your Copilot, and you'll see right in the URL a lot of the variables. In this case, we have our organization ID right on top. When you click into your agent, you'll have the agent ID, and then when you want to see a specific conversation, it's a conversation and then ID. Now, with this workflow, I could really statically type in organization and agent ID. That's not going to change anytime soon. But how I built it out was I left my organization static because that's not going to change. And then I made my agent dynamic. And again, agents being passed with the conversation payload. That way, if I want to make a second iteration, maybe I want to A/B test agents, I can do that. And this Webflow will still work because we'll be dynamically grabbing the right agent and then building it out and pointing to the exact right conversation. Okay, so now I can execute that. And now if we check our sheet, I can see I have my AI score, my AI summary, and a link right to my Copilot conversation. Okay, so that's all looking good. Next step up is I want to be able to decide if it's a hot lead, which if you go back to the other video, we said anybody scored 7 and higher was going to be a hot lead based on our scoring instructions. We said those are the ones that are people who want to say, yeah, I want to come in. So I did for my conversation. So this will be a pretty simple little if node, just checking to see if the AI score, and we'll say is greater than or equal to 7. So that'll push us to our true branch. This way, if as soon as we come in and record it to the spreadsheet, if it's a 4 or something lower, we still have it recorded. It's still in the spreadsheet because we want that information. We want to know we reached out, that lead was covered, and why they need to be ignored. But we're not going to be notifying a rep about it because the rep doesn't want to be notified unless it's a hot lead. All right. So after that, I'm going to do another Sheets node here. And this is just to get all of my reps. So if I look at that, I'm just getting all reps, no filters, no nothing. Executing that, and I can see all of them here. I got the row number, but more importantly, the name, the email, and then the lead count. So the next step, and this is another great usage of your coding assistant on the side or your AI assistant on the side where you can quickly type in a message. I asked to have a code node generated that would basically look through my incoming body and give me the next lead. And then if there was multiple leads tied for the lowest lead count, then give me whatever the next row number is. So in this case, I see rows 2, 3, and 4. They have 9, 9, and 8. I'm going to run this, and I should get Becky Two Shoes, which I do. Now, if this was a 9, I'd be getting Jimmy Beans. If Jimmy Beans was then updated to a 10, so Johnny Dogs and Becky Two Shoes were both 9s, it'd get Johnny Dogs. So we're going very evenly down the row. You might want to change that according to your business logic, though. We've seen personally that case where a rep goes on vacation, so you turn off their leads, and then when they come back, you don't want them to get every single lead until they catch up count-wise to the other two. So maybe it's really just a true, and then when they're all true, you reset them all to false again, and then you kind of go through. That way, it's very easy to throw them back into the mix. Okay, but this is what we're doing for ours, because in our case, we're also keeping track of how many leads they've gotten this month or in total. Next up is going to be to create the email body that we're going to pass to them. I like to do that in a pretty simple set node. I set a value called email body. And again, I have a whole email HTML template. Again, AI is really good at generating some of this dynamic content. I just let it know where the variables live. So provide these variable paths. And it created a really nice email with the lead email, the score, summary, the conversation link, and as I'll show you, it formats the conversation itself into a really nice format. So the rep has the full context for when they're reaching out. All right, so we have that. I can run that. That won't do anything except set that variable. And then next up is another big one, which is actually sending the rep the AI email. So a lot of this body, again, exactly the same as the one when we sent the customer-facing one. I just trade out a few things. For instance, the first name, I'm just doing my rep name, and then last name, I just put sales rep because, again, it's not super hypercritical that I'm tracking this as a lead because it's not. It's an internal communication. I changed that source to rep notification. I gave it the email. I gave it a static subject, well, semi-static, where it's just new lead, and then it dynamically puts in the email address of that new lead. And then I pull in that email body I generated. I don't include a signature, and I'm resetting the conversation. So I'm also not passing any context because, again, I'm really just using this as a way to send out an email internally for an agent I already have. This just saves me an N8N the time of setting up a SendGrid node or Mailgun or whatever. So we have that set up. And then the key to making it so that it's a kind of a do not reply is this one here, which is another hit to our API. And this one is just external conversations, a conversation ID, and then mode. And it's a put, so it's an update. And all we're doing is passing in the agent secret key, your API key, of course, and then you're just passing mode manual. So again, mode manual basically means human in the loop. So you could go into Copilot and you know, this is a use case we have for somebody's billing agent we made for them, which was it's a do not reply, but somebody might reply back. But we don't want the agent to reply. We want the staff to go in and monitor that Copilot and say, oh, wow, somebody replied. Oh, and it's a doozy. I don't even have to email them back. I can type right in this message here and start communicating with them as the human. So we have that there. And then the last thing we want to do is one more sheep node where we update the rep count. So this, I'm just going to grab the rep by the email and just make the lead count equal the lead count plus 1. So increase it by 1. So let's run this full message now. So it's updating the lead. It's getting all the leads, sending the email, turning it to manual. And we can always know if it works by, if we got a conversation ID, perfect. We know it went out. Set to manual worked, and update lead count. So now when I pop in here and go to reps, I can see, yep, she's set to 9. So next time we run it, we'd be back up to Jimmy Beans. Now let me pop over to my email. And in my, let me expand this out. In my rep email, I did the old plus trick. So I did Thomas plus Becky. So you could see that this was going out to the Becky email address. It wasn't just going to the live account again. But I can see in the body, you know, it says, hi, rep's name. You have a new lead to follow up with. I've got the email, the score, the full summary, a link to the Copilot. Here is the full nice conversation layout, assistant, customer, assistant, customer, assistant. You know, you've got all of the context you need. And this, again, since it's set up with the webhook, it's just going to fire automatically anytime a conversation comes in. And again, you always have it here within your Copilot. Now, what you won't have is, again, every outgoing message. It only shows up in Copilot once it's a conversation. And that's because if you are, you know, marketing to dozens or hundreds of leads a week or a month, you really want to keep this reserved for the conversations, the things that need addressing. Okay, so yeah, that is everything for that build. So within these 2 pretty short videos, we basically set up an entire client, you know, CRM system to where we can input leads, have them communicated with via AI, update the sheet, record the interactions, notify your sales reps with all the details to start reaching out. It's almost like a full suite of actions and agents taking place in just, you know, when you look at it, two pretty small little workflows right in N8N.
I think we've talked about this before too, right? That a lot of times less is more. Like in the scenario where you need automation, automation has to be there. But a lot of times people end up probably going too far down the rabbit hole or looking at what they normally do in a very heavy manual process. And AI doesn't necessarily need to be, as complicated as we kind of make it sometimes. So yeah, I think this is a great build.
Yeah. It's like we said it in one of the other episodes. When we all start building agents, which we can, we're kind of
Right.
becoming software developers, and so we kind of have to get into the mindset of iteration. This isn't going to be something you just kind of toggle on and set. This is something you're going to want to expand on, and you're going to think like, oh, actually, can it also do this? The answer is almost always yes. And then how do I add that into my workflow? Or how could I add on an additional component to this? Or what is it going to do next? Whenever we have a big process internally that we're trying to automate with agents, it's always, we have this big vision and we just start taking bites of that elephant one at a time, and they all start stacking up.
Yeah. Fantastic, man. Great build.
Cool. Awesome. All right. Well, thanks for watching. Let us know in the comment section of any feedback or any ideas for what we should build next. We always have some, but we'd love to build just what you'd like. So from idea to action, this has been Tech Time with Thomas. We will see you on the next build.